There's recently been an interview on CBS where the struggles of the South African refugees have been highlighted, and a lot of people are focusing on the struggles. Grass is not greener on the other side. We must also highlight, I understand some of the reactions because, if you are going to paint a picture, and a lot of them actually spread disinformation, but there are some that just took the opportunity. You didn't have to lie to get into the program. Also, it was not only for Afrikaners, it was also for minority groups. And so, you know, as far as I'm concerned, if Trump is giving you a free ticket and you really want to go to the current America, I wouldn't advise it, but if that's what you want to do, go. I advised a friend of mine whose son was insisting that he wants to go, him and his partner. I said, yeah, I'll go for it. It's a free ticket. Trump is playing a political game. He's using the Afrikaner refugee story as a way to gain a high ground when it comes to the ICJ case, because if he keeps on repeating that South Africa is committing a genocide, then how can they judge Israel for genocidal acts and war crimes? So, yeah, and he got into the program, and his partner got into the program, and they are there already. So, good for them, and for those of you that want to go, go. But the interview that I am talking about is this interview.
In addition, the administration is prioritizing white South Africans for admission, a group it says faces persecution at home, something the South African government disputes. Well, now an investigation from the Free Press shows many of those white South Africans, also known as Afrikaners, are barely scraping by because of what they say are failures in U.S. government systems. Madeline Rowley is an investigative reporter for the Free Press, and she joins us now from Virginia to talk about this. And we should note the Free Press and CBS News share a parent company in Paramount Skydance. Madeline, good morning. Talk to us about the conditions some of these refugees say they are experiencing, because the administration made it seem as if they were being prioritized. They are a special group.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me on. Yes, I spoke to 10 South African refugees who told me that, they came to the U.S. hoping for a better life, a better situation, just as other refugees. And the government contracts with 7 refugee resettlement agencies that are paid hundreds of millions of dollars per year to provide safe, sanitary, and affordable housing. And unfortunately, what I heard from these Afrikaner refugees is that they're spending weeks in motels in unsafe areas. They're being offered housing that is full of mold, apartments that are full of mold in expensive areas. So each refugee is allotted $2,000, and all of that has been going to rent. So they're really left with nothing. And these agencies are supposed to help them apply to jobs, obtain temporary benefits such as SNAP and Medicaid, and basically other people from the community, like neighbors, are having to step in because they just, in some cases, can't even get a hold of their resettlement agencies.
And Madeline, what jumps out to me about what you're saying is we have this almost split screen between what you're describing their life is like now and how they looked in May of 2025 when they were being welcomed here. They were holding American flags. They had smiles on their faces. When you asked refugee groups about these issues with the resettlement process, what are they telling you? How common is this?
Well, from what I could tell, there is an entire network of people as they come. People I spoke to came as soon as 2 weeks ago. And what they do is, they have a network through social media groups and WhatsApp, and they're all realizing, oh no, I'm stuck in this hotel. I only have a certain amount of food. They don't have transportation. They don't have the right clothing. I talked to 3 refugees who are in Detroit. It's very cold there. They do not have coats. So they're realizing that they really feel alone.
Now, I think despite your views on the program itself, it's a terrible situation to be in. Okay, I must also say that I do believe that the South African refugees were not properly advised. The people that they got the advice from were more the Trump fans, and everything's going to be wonderful, we'll take care of this, and they got the wrong idea. They actually thought they were being prioritized instead of recognizing that you know what, you can use this opportunity, but understand you're going to go into a system and you are going to be treated like any other refugee. Also understand that your situation is very special in the way that other refugees from war-torn countries are now being turned away, and you are being prioritized. So you are going to have a certain reaction in some cases. However, I think what should have happened is that instead of people race grifting on this and getting super chats and stuff, they should have been directed to people that have been in that particular process, understand how it works, and also have the relevant expertise to advise. Because I think it must be terrible to arrive there and, you know, you're in this ice cold place, or your expectations of your living standards is totally not what you thought it would be. So I also received a message from someone that follows me, and it's someone that follows me on TikTok and here on YouTube. And according to her, this is what she says. I was just watching one of your posts about farm murders this morning, and I have a question. Am I a bad person for refusing to help South African refugees in my area? The requests are never ending here on social media, to the point where they are trying to make people feel bad. I believe my opinion on this is more widespread among South Africans in the United States than is being spoken about. For me, it's a matter of principle. I will not be drawn into anything, in capitals, that perpetuates the evil of this administration. I'd rather help a fellow American or another far more worthy refugee or legitimate asylum seeker, which I actually do on a regular basis. Not to mention all of these SA refugees will be lifelong Trump acolytes. Feel free to use this question. I'm pretty sure many are asking, but don't use my name. I'm not ready for a hateful barrage and attack right now. I understand what she's saying, because if you say anything about this particular program, regardless if you're talking facts or you're giving a criticism from your point, you do get a hate-filled barrage. And I think that is also the problem, is that a lot of people need to realize that this was discussions that should have been held prior to people going over. My understanding from the interview is there's about 1,600 people that have gone over. The woman from the Free Press that was in that interview indicated that she had spoken to 10 people in one place, and then there were 3 people in another place, the people without jackets. But the main focus of this particular interview that I get is not necessarily the struggles of these refugees. Yes, it is the issue around their expectations not being managed, but there seems to be a warning around the agencies that are running these programs. So that's what I took from that. For those of you that want to go, you know, as I said, go. I personally, looking at America right now, wouldn't do it. I also, for me, it would be a moral thing, because, you know, I know for a fact as a white South African, I am not under threat. I'm not being persecuted, and I see a future for myself and a future for my children in this country. But, you know, it's your choice. I cannot make a choice for you. All that I want to suggest is that you stop listening to the race grifters, and also, I would say, unattach yourself from certain narratives, and rather think that if you want to go and make this place for yourself in the United States, listen to people with the actual expertise. Anyway, that's it, and thank you for listening to me.
Spilling the tea, essay, light on the way. Spilling the tea, essay.